Bang, 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 bang! Here we are again. Let's go. Let's go. It's February 5th. It's Friday. The Super Bowl's coming up. Gonna be a good weekend. Gonna go visit some friends. Gonna go play some golf. We got a great episode for you here on 7 Days Later Today with me, Jason Wolf. We're gonna talk about some things that are gonna be good for you to know. We're gonna talk about some things that are gonna help you grow. And we're gonna talk about some things that you're gonna think about. Let's get this show started. We got a special guest today. He's gonna be starting out the show, Bryce J. Vibes, with Finance Friday on 7 Days Later Today with me, Jason Wolf. Let's go.
Did you say that you will, as I flag down your right? I guess I shaped up alright tonight. And blood rushed through my skin. I said we'll do this again, at a time and a place you'd like. But my words fall short too hollow. Right at your feet I'll follow up. Make sure I'm set to get some. And you said well how's tomorrow? For movies that's friends no more though. Last time I checked you'll get none. You'll get none.
Welcome back. We're going to jump right into it. Without further ado, here it is, the premiere episode of Finance Friday with ya boy, Bryce J. Vibes. I'm going to let him talk for himself.
You know what you need when you that broke. You know what you want when you see the dream. All I want to do is be the best me. All I want to do is be the best me. All I want to do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me, possibly.
What up, everybody? It is Bryce J. Vibes coming at you with Finance Friday. I'm very excited about these content pieces. I have definitely dove into the finance world these last 2 years, and it's definitely made me handle my finances a lot differently. It makes me think about things a lot differently. So what I've learned is I want to come in here and I want to teach you guys. I want to show you what value I've received about money, about investing. And so that is what these Finance Fridays are going to be all about. But before I kind of jump into it, if you're not watching this on 7 Days Later Today, if you're simply just watching it on my platform here, I recommend to go check out 7 Days Later Today by Jason Wolf. What he's doing is he's covering the news, kind of. You know, it's intriguing. He's covering a lot of good stuff. He gives you real news every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you'll be seeing my content pieces there every Friday with him. And so if you're not following 7 Days Later Today on YouTube or Instagram, I definitely recommend to go check that out. But today, Finance Friday, I wanted to cover 8 reasons to invest your money. So, you know, a lot of people are kind of skeptical on investing. They don't know what it's about, what you do. It's a scary thing to do if you are not, educated about it. So I kind of wanted to jump in here, give you 8 reasons on why you should start investing your money. And these are only 8 of many, many reasons to start investing your money. But I believe I've covered, the gist of it. So 8 reasons to invest your money. Number 1, when you invest your money, you're allowing yourself to grow your money. So when you put your money into an investment, what you're allowing your money to do is it's allowing your money to start working for itself. It's not just sitting into a standard savings account where your money is literally doing nothing. When you invest, it's working, it's compounding, which is the major key. If you're not familiar with compound interest, Albert Einstein said it's the 8th wonder of the world. So just to put into context, if I came to you and I was going to ask you to go play 18 holes of golf, and I said, let's start with 10 cents, but let's double the bet all through hole 18. If you do the math, I think you would be very surprised on what the amount of dollars we'd be playing for on hole 18. So if you do the math, hole 1, we're doing 10 cents, hole 2, 20 cents, hole 3, 40 cents, etc. You double it. Hole 18, we're going to be putting up a whopping little over $13,000 for hole 18, which is crazy to think, starting out at 10 cents. But that is the effect of compound interest. And when you invest early and you invest often, you are allowing compound interest to take effect, which is going to grow your finances exponentially. Number 2 is you're able to earn higher returns. So on average, in the history of the stock market, the S&P 500 for an index fund, which I would recommend, and that'll be another piece of what index funds that I'll cover. But on average, those have an average rate of return of 10%. So that means for every $100,000 you had in that investment account, you would be receiving $10,000 back into your pocket. That is a passive income that you're receiving. And if you invest early and you invest often, that return you're going to receive is going to get greater and greater. And the compound interest is going to take effect, which is going to allow very massive returns for yourself. Number 3 is it allows you to reach financial goals. So when you're earning higher returns and you're allowing your money to work for itself, the return on your money is going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. And that's what investing simply does. It allows you to make money. Of course, you're going to have the ups, you're going to have the downs, but you cannot be emotional when doing it. You need to know that in history, it will rise. Inflation will take effect. And so you need to get your money into investment to start reaching your major financial goals. Number 4, it allows you to stay ahead of inflation. So if you're allowing your money to simply sit into a savings account and it's just sitting there not doing anything, you're actually losing money due to inflation taking effect. It's something right around the 2% every single year you're losing if you're just allowing to sit in that. So get your money into an investment, stay ahead of inflation, get those 10, 15% returns on your money every single year, and allow yourself to make the money that you deserve. Number 5 is it allows you to start and expand businesses. All the major companies, they need investors to bring cash flow for them to grow. And so that is the power of investing. It allows businesses to grow and to expand. So, get into investing and start to help. It's going to help others, and it's going to be a very good thing for you. Number 6 is it helps you save on taxes. So, if you're investing into a standard 401k or a traditional IRA, you are paying taxes when you pull that money out. So, you're pulling it out, 50 years down the road or whatever. But if you do a Roth IRA, that means you're paying taxes now, which inflation is not taking effect. Inflation has taken effect currently. So if you're not taking it out until later, you could potentially be paying a higher tax. So if you have a Roth IRA, you would pay taxes now. What you see in your bank account at that time is going to be true liquid. You don't have to pay taxes out of that. So it allows you to save on taxes. Number 7 is it will get you to retirement, and even potentially it could get you to an early retirement. So, when you're investing and you have your money working for yourself, your money is going to compound, and everyone has that number to live the life of their dreams. And I guarantee investing, if you do it properly, it will get you to retirement early. Number 8, the final reason that I wanted to cover on why you should invest your money is it allows you to be part of a new venture. It allows you to be part of something bigger. So when you start to invest, you need to invest in the actual company and what value they're bringing to the people rather than just what you could be making on the money return. Tesla, for instance, if you believe in removing the carbon footprint, those electric vehicles are going to assist with that. So you would want to invest in Tesla. You believe in what they're doing. You believe in the value that they're bringing to the people. And so when you invest, you're allowing yourself to be part of something bigger. So if you have not opened up an investment account, I would absolutely recommend it. It is one of the most profitable things you can do for yourself. Invest early, invest often, and the life of your dreams is simply at your fingertips. With that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Jason Wolf from 7 Days Later Today. Until next time, I want you all to work smoothly, be grateful, and simply smile.
All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me.
God damn, what a smooth transition right there. That's my boy Bryce J Vibes giving you the Finance Friday. Oh, that was awesome, man. I know that there's a lot of experts out there right now because of Wall Street bets and everything that's going on with the stock market, but Bryce J Vibes has been doing this for a few years, and I love what he just did right there. God darn it. I thought I was looking a little bit uglier than usual. I'm going to start that over. I love that right there. Bryce J Vibes just friggin' killed it. I know there's a lot of experts out there right now with the Wall Street bets and everything that's going on with Robinhood. Bryce J Vibes has been doing this for a few years. I love what he just did right there because my biggest problem with investing is I'm a little scared. I'll be honest, I'm a little scared. I don't know what to do. So usually when folks are scared to get into something, it's because they don't understand it that well. And I love that video because I really think his approach is going to be help you feel comfortable about investing your money. And after talking to my buddy, we talk about it a lot. He's been trying to convince me of those same 8 reasons right there, and he's right. If you start now, even a little bit in the long run is going to pay off. So there it was, Bryce J Vibes, Finance Friday. Go and follow him on Instagram. He is also going to be doing some stuff on YouTube, Facebook as well. So go follow him on Instagram. That's where you can start the jump off. Bryce J Vibes. Follow him for all sorts of motivational videos, finance videos, terrific news on Tuesday, think about it Thursday, something else on Friday. Go follow him, Bryce J Vibes. All right. Into the news. Kind of. I love the way he said that. That was exactly, that's exactly what we are. We're not the news. We're not the news. I'm not a journalist. Okay? Now, if you just watch Bryce J Vibes video and now you're over here watching this and you're thinking you're going to be watching the news, if you didn't watch the last video, I was smoking weed and I was drinking beer. So we're going to turn down the news. Actually, I have to go opposite. I just noticed that. We're going to turn down the news and we're going to turn up the funny, okay? Or at least try to. Here we go. We're going to talk about our first news segment. Okay, so cancel culture. It's been out there for a while. What do you guys think about cancel culture? Is it something that you deal with in your personal life? Probably not. Probably not, because unless you're in the public spotlight, I really doubt your opinions are out there strongly enough for people to come and attack you like some people do when you're in the public spotlight. I'm ready for it. Yo, I'm ready to duck and weave, okay? So I'm putting my opinions out there. I want people to come to me and disagree with me. I want to have a conversation. So we're going to go over here at MSNBC. Velshi is this gentleman's name. Both of these people look like something if they make this face, you just immediately want to slap them. That's just my initial reaction when I look at these two faces that they are making. Not the faces that they are, the faces that they're making. Okay? So let's take a listen in, huh?
Now is the Democratic Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii. She's a member of the Judiciary and Armed Services Committees, and her debut memoir, Heart of Fire, An Immigrant's Daughter's Story, is available now for pre-order. Aloha, Senator Hirono.
Aloha,
This morning. I
Good to see you.
remember, when I'm in Hawaii, Hawaiians tell me that aloha isn't just a greeting. It's not really a word. It's sort of a sense, right? It's a way of
Oh, it
behaving
is.
well
So
and being
cultured.
welcoming and being friendly. You're
Yes.
lacking a little aloha on Capitol Hill right now.
Oh, definitely, sadly, and I think when Trump got elected, and as you say, he created some norms for some people, and they're acting on those norms, sadly.
What
So
are the
we're-
norms?
Katie was talking about
I love that.
obviously
They
the,
never
the
talk
efforts
about it.
against the president, which is the
Claim
impeachment effort
nothing
and
to be
trial now
said.
in the Senate, and of course the arrests of the people who participated in the January 6th insurrection. There's a middle ground there, and it involves two of your fellow senators, Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, who denied the results of the election, actively, recruited people to, or at least encouraged people to
Yes.
partake in some activity to overturn it. And you are one of 7 senators who's now filed an ethics complaint against your colleagues.
Yes. So the Senate is the body that, we care about improper conduct by our own members, and the process is to file a complaint with the Ethics Committee, and we did so. I think that it is not just a matter of Hawley and Cruz exercising their First Amendment freedom of speech. No, they were right in there, basically pushing out the big lie for months, and leading to the Capitol insurrection. So they should be held accountable through an investigation from the Ethics Committee.
Okay, so the video that they're showing there, these people who are smashing at the cops should have been hit with tear gas. I mean, if maybe they didn't think this was a real threat at that time, they should have been hit with tear gas. People should have been brought in. You can't be doing that. I disagree with it. Let's continue to hear what they have to say.
Tell me what likely happens there, because this is really serious. In fact, I'm going to talk about it a little later in the show, but your colleague, Senator Hawley, continues to go on TV, publish things, op-eds in newspapers, speak on the Senate floor about how he's being muzzled, which is kind of ironic given that he's publishing things and he's going on TV and he's on the floor of the Senate. But there is this grievance that he and others are expressing that has no basis in reality whatsoever.
Like President Trump, Senator Hawley is really good at playing the victim. And so it's always surprising to me when these otherwise, to me, privileged people, start acting like they're victims. This is not just a situation where he's being muzzled, if that's the word he likes to use, because even as he's all over the place talking about, the big lie, continuing to support the president, this is what he does. It's called playing the victim, and we should not take that as anything other than a bunch of baloney, in my opinion.
She's got a lot
And
to say
so,
about
but
the subject.
in our case, asking for an investigation is very serious, because improper conduct, which basically in this instance led to a Capitol insurrection, should be held accountable. And he shows absolutely no remorse, nothing along those lines, and continues to put forth the lie and continue to support the president and his base. So that is what is going on. I just think that we're in a situation, Ali, where the president and the people around him are not held accountable for their behavior, which leads to people being hurt. And in this insurrection, as you know, dozens of police officers were harmed. One is about to lose his eye, and a person lost his life, and 5 people died. It was an insurrection, and when they...
All right, enough of that. And there goes my light. I'm going to just look ugly now. Well, based on what she's saying there, people do need to be held accountable. So how come it seems like only one side of the aisle is being held accountable? That's what I think most people are upset about. They feel like only one side of the aisle is being held responsible for their actions. Because if you guys haven't been paying attention, all of these people who have been storming the Capitol and been posting it on social media, they've been getting charged, they've been getting arrested, which should happen. I'm not arguing that shouldn't happen. That should happen. But what I'm arguing is, does this not apply to everyone? I mean, Portland is I'm pretty sure there's still riots going. If you look it up, there's still riots. People are rioting still. So this is called, this video is labeled "Consequences Are Not Cancel Culture." So I don't think anyone disagrees with that. There should be consequences for your actions, but cancel culture can also be taken completely out of context. Should a joke, here's my question, should a joke be used as ammo for saying someone is racist or saying someone is this or saying someone is that? Because usually a joke is meant to make you think about something and there's some truth behind it, and that's why it's funny. Okay? So, my question to MSNBC, who just says, with this video labeled "Consequences Are Not Cancel Culture," what about this over here? So, we had an SNL member. SNL has sucked for so long because they're so concerned about what everyone seems to think about them. And now we have Michael Che, the gentleman who is part of the weekend update. Saturday Night Live is facing accusations of transphobia for a joke aired as part of last night's weekend update. Let's take a listen. We're not going to take a listen. We're going to read it. During the segment, host Michael Che said, President Biden signed an executive order repealing Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military. It's good news, except Biden is calling the policy, "Don't ask, don't tuck." That is a good, oh my God, that's just a good joke. That's just a good joke. Now that there's a Democrat as the president, I'm sure they will become less politicized at SNL and go back to telling good jokes. I mean, that's just a good joke. So let's hear what's going on based on the reactions. It didn't take long for people on Twitter to call out the joke for transphobia. Literally, what will it take for Michael Che to stop writing transphobic jokes? How is that transphobic? Did he say anything? I mean, I would love to have someone on to tell me why that was transphobic. I've got a good feeling that this person who tweeted this Kelly gal, probably isn't transphobic. She's just about the cause. I mean, I'd be curious to hear. What is Saturday Night Live's weird obsession with transphobic nonsense? I honestly don't get it. It's so lazy and sad. Last night, Michael Che joked about the repeal of the trans ban being called "Don't Ask, Don't Tuck." Who is this joke for? Maybe the joke's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Get you talking about it and get you thinking about it. He did what he was trying to do. Great joke. Honestly, at NBC SNL, we've been mocked enough for one eternity. Do better. I'm tired of our genitalia and our existence being discussed, obsessed about, and laughed at. I have a feeling if you would care about it less, you would see it less. See no evil, hear no evil. You ain't gonna think no evil. It's all mindset. And I think you should be able to do whatever you want to do. You should also be able to say whatever you want to say, because that obviously that's just a joke. That wasn't putting anyone down. That was just a funny joke. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, don't tuck. Oh, man. This isn't the first time Michael has been accused of being transphobic on SNL. He previously dead-named and misgendered Caitlyn Jenner in 2019 Weekend Update. That's all they got to say about it. Now, did that seem like they were concerned about Michael Che there? What do you guys think? Do you think that They were concerned about the actual joke. Do you think anyone was actually digging into the actual joke? And what it did? How it made people react? How it made them think? Has anyone asked Michael Che if he's actually transphobic? Are these all just speculations? Why don't people just actually go to him? And if his answer is no, are you going to take that as a legit answer? Or are you going to say, that's not true because he keeps making these jokes? I'm curious. I would love to have this conversation with someone because I think it's important to be able to make jokes. I think it's extremely important to be able to make fun of yourself and to allow people to make fun of you. Now, it's important to have respect. Make sure those jokes don't come from a place of hate because you know the difference, right? I think we all know the difference between a joke that is hateful and a joke that is playful. So let's grow up. Let's realize there is something called cancel culture. Let's realize there is something called context. And let's realize that we can have a conversation about something while giving our own opinions without any aspect of pain with an outcome, okay? Pain is not the outcome in most of these conversations. That joke, I don't think pain was the outcome. Do you guys think what he wanted from that joke was pain from transphobic people? I don't think so. I thought it was a pretty good joke. Oh, right. So now we're going to talk about something that's pretty near and dear to my heart. I have had this opinion for a while. The baseball season is coming up. They are currently talking about having a 154 game season. I think it's usually 167, 182 game season, something like that. My light just went out again. Come on. So, the Players Association does not want to go into this 154 game season. This is over at Newsmax. Baseball Players Union expected to reject a 154 game season. The Major League Baseball Players Association is expected to reject a 154 game season proposal from MLB that would have led to the start of the campaign to the pushback a month until April 28th, according to USA Today on Sunday. MLB presented the proposal to the Players Union Friday. The proposal calls for 14 playoff teams instead of 10 and use of the designated hitter in the National League for the second consecutive season. 7-inning doubleheaders and beginning extra innings with runners on second base also would be utilized for a second consecutive season. That's kind of interesting. I didn't know they did that. The proposal calls for players to receive 100% of their pay if the 154-game season is completed and not interrupted by the coronavirus pandemic. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred would have authority to suspend the season due to health reasons, according to reports. Okay, so they're talking about the effect that COVID has on this MLB season, and I am assuming the proposal calls for players to report to spring training March 22nd, about a month later than normal. The delay would allow MLB more time to access the health landscape as well as provide more time for vaccinations. The regular season would end October 10th, 1 week later originally planned, and be followed by a postseason that would stretch into November. The 14-team postseason would call for the first-place team in both the American and National League to have a first-round bye. The union has asserted that the fact there was a 60-game season played to completion in 2020 during a pandemic displayed an entire 162-game season can be played in 2021. So 162 games is what they usually play. So the Players Union is trying to get 162 games and just keep the regular playoffs, I'm assuming. Not enough information there. That's not what I was going to talk about. What I'm going to talk about is when I was working for a ECHL hockey team, the biggest problem with our ability to make revenue was the fact that we had too many games. Okay? I feel this is the same thing for MLB and NBA. The reason that the NFL is so successful is because almost every game has some sort of after effect where down the road, if you don't win this game, it's going to have an effect on the rest of your season. So if they would shorten the seasons with the MLB and the NBA, I think that is the resolution to their problems, rather than adding games, take away games, and make the games more meaningful. So that's what I wanted to talk about there. Not the fact that the game, that the season's going to be shortened, and they don't want that apparently. Apparently they want more games. They just want to play a regular season and probably have just regular playoffs. Not sure why there's pushback on that. They'd still get all of their money if the season is completed. Maybe on the other side, if they do the 162 game season, they're still going to have guaranteed money. If the season isn't completed with the 154 game season, they probably don't get all their guaranteed money. That'd be interesting to see. Hopefully someone from Barstool goes into that, because this is just a jump off point. This is a jump off point. This is where we start, and then you go find a good place to pick it up somewhere else, because we're just like the news, kind of. We're not really the news. We're just kind of the news. We just talk about stuff like we kind of know what we're talking about, but we really have no idea what we're talking about or what we're doing, because my front light went out here. I somewhat look like a zombie. The video quality has gone to shit. And we're just going to talk about some other things that are good to know. Some things that are going to be good to know. If you plan on traveling outside of the country, like I am, I'm going to go to Mexico to visit a friend. Going to get some banana hammocks. I've been working on my tan. Been going to the tanning salon for about every other day for 4 weeks now. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of hard to tell without the light on me, or in general. I've been getting darker. Like I said from that first episode, I was going to get darker. I'm starting to look like Enrique Iglesias here, and I'm hoping to go down to Mexico, and maybe the ladies will think I'm Enrique. Huh? I can sing a little bit, but I can't speak Spanish. This is going to be important for folks to know about. The U.S. government urges Americans not to travel abroad after new testing requirements goes into effect. Now, I am not going to talk about, hey, you shouldn't travel abroad, but we're going to talk about the restrictions that are now in play if you are going to travel abroad, okay? So, this is important. The U.S. government is urging Americans not to travel abroad after new restrictions went into effect Tuesday, requiring all passengers traveling by air to present negative COVID-19 tests taken within 3 calendar days of departure or proof of recovery from the virus within the last 90 days. Okay? So this is important for me because I think I got the virus. I think it was back in late May I got it. So if it was late May, June, July, August, September, October, I'm going to have to go get tested and prove that I am not sick. Excuse me. I'm going to have to go get that test done 3 days before I take off. So, if you are planning on traveling abroad and you don't get tested and have proof that you have been tested and have been tested negative, they're probably not going to let you fly. Let's dig into it a little more. Seriously reconsider going overseas right now. Acting Assistant Secretary of State for Consular Affairs Ian Brownlee told reporters on a call Tuesday, U.S. citizens who choose to go abroad, whether it's for holiday or a genuine emergency, everyone needs to be prepared to be potentially seriously disrupted in their trips. Sounds awesome! If you cannot easily access a COVID-19 test or if you test positive, you will end up overseas for much longer than you planned. Brownlee added, if that happens, you will be responsible for covering your own lodging and medical costs during that time. I'm at the point right now where my expenses are doing pretty good, and so if I had to spend 3 extra weeks in quarantine in Mexico on the beach, I'm not going to be too upset. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention's director for the Division of Global Migration and Quarantine, Marty Citron, said on the same call that the bottom line message is this is really not a time for people to be engaging in discretionary travel, and that all travel should be postponed until we get a better handle on getting this virus under control and accelerating our vaccination strategies. Okay, if you're 50 and older, maybe you shouldn't travel because if you get the disease, you could die. But for me, if I get the disease, I'm not going to die. So risk and reward. Guess what? I can weigh it. I'm going. I'm gone. Call me, who's the guy who stole all the money? DB Cooper. Call me DB Cooper. I'll jump out and break my leg. If you're not going to land that plane, I'm going to take everyone's money on the plane. DB Cooper that bitch. And be in Mexico for the rest of my life. Despite the warnings, Brownlee said that the State Department is not considering issuing a global level 4 do not travel advisory and will continue to issue advisories on a country-by-country basis. The department issued the worldwide warning against international travel last March and lifted it in August, but it said at the time that it continued to recommend U.S. citizens exercise caution when traveling abroad due to the unpredictable nature of the pandemic. Brownlee said Tuesday the State Department is committed to helping U.S. citizens overseas who find themselves in dire situations, but that assistance is likely to be limited. So they're trying to help people avoid the dire straits in the first place by not doing anything and just staying inside. No, thank you. Went into effect after this was from President Biden's executive order. Is this a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing. I have no problem with this. Have no problem with going to get tested. Have no problem with the fact that if I get corona when I'm in Mexico, I take that risk. Right? I take that risk. Am I going to get upset with someone because I got corona? Nope. Because I took the risk. Is it anyone else's choice for me to go to Mexico? Nope. I took that risk. So, this is a good thing to have, I think. If people are coming into the country, you obviously want to make sure they're not coming in with COVID. This is a good thing. CNN, thank you. God bless you. What are we talking about next? Let's get into it. We're going to be our last segment of the day. Have no idea what this is. Oh yeah. We're going to go into the hypocrisy. We're going to go into the hypocrisy of everything that we see from the left media almost every day. Now, for those of you who if you hadn't been following Trump's presidency, if you have, you might have noticed that the media didn't like him that much. They did not think that he was suited for the job, even though when he was in, the stock market went to record highs, and even though when he was in, unemployment were at record lows, and even though people were calling him racist, there was the lowest unemployment rate for Hispanics, blacks. Asians are always doing good because Asians work hard, part of the culture, and maybe that's what it's about, culture. Who don't you hear about complaining a whole lot right now? Mexicans. Maybe it's because their culture is just worried about working hard, earning what you gain, gaining what you earn. Just a thought, just a theory. We're going to jump into the hypocrisy that I'm seeing over at CNN Politics. You gave us good info, but now you're just going and doing what you usually do. Senate passes key procedural step to allow Democrats to pass COVID-19 relief without threat of GOP filibuster. Now, let's see if there's an undertone of ignorance and skepticism in this article, because I have a feeling if the Republicans were to do this, all hell would break loose. We're taking a while to load here. Here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. The video's playing. We're doing it. It's loading. It's going round and round. Like me when I'm drunk and trying to sleep. Put your foot on the ground and everything kind of stops moving. Sometimes. Oh, we're going round and round on this one. Come on, big dog. Give me a play.
Thanks for coming down.
The looming question of whether President Biden...
CNN. What's going on?
Thanks for coming down.
The looming question of whether President Biden will...
CNN. CNN. All right. That's it. CNN. Jeez Louise.
go big.
All right. The Senate passed a budget resolution early Friday morning, a key procedural step.
Big or go by...
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. The Senate passed... CNN. Oh, CNN. Just stop playing the video. Just stop playing the video. All right, here we go. The Senate passed a budget resolution early Friday morning, a key procedural step that steps up the ability for Democrats to pass President
partisan
Joe Biden.
on the next
Oh,
pandemic...
CNN. Quit interrupting me. Oh, God. The ability for Democrats to pass President Joe Biden's sweeping COVID-19 relief package without the threat of a filibuster from Republicans who oppose it. Do you think they oppose it for good reason? I got a feeling you're going to try giving money to illegal immigrants. Now, I know some of you might be confused. I just talked about
Aid
the
bill
hard work.
seemed to get an
CNN.
answer today.
Oh,
The risk here...
CNN. Just stop playing. Now, I'm sure some of you are confused. I just said Hispanic folks have very good work ethics. That's why we're not hearing many complaints from them right now. They're just worried about feeding their family and probably working hard. And then I say that about illegal immigrants. I've said it once, I've said it before. Immigration is a good thing. It has to be controlled. It's not fair for illegal immigrants to jump the line on migrants who are trying to do it legally. The measure passed 5150 on a party line vote, but only after Vice President Kamala Harris showed up at the Capitol to break the tie. Passage followed hours of voting on amendments in an exhausting ritual known as a votorama, when senators can theoretically offer as many amendments to the budget resolution as they desire. Sounds like a good idea. A votorama. That's going to get a lot done. Let's just throw a bunch of shit on a wall and then see what's going to stick and see if people will say, oh well, they threw that on there. We got to say, okay, we'll vote for that, but if you'll vote for this. It's a dirty game. When senators can theoretically offer as many amendments to the budget resolution as they desire. Those amendments largely serve as a way for each party to force the other side onto the record about controversial issues. The most of the GOP amendments were defeated. But the process also highlighted some bipartisan consensus. One of the more significant amendments came from a bipartisan group of senators, led by Democrat Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine, that would prevent upper-income taxpayers from being eligible to receive $1,400 COVID relief checks. No shit. At least everyone can agree on that. Why don't we talk about the stuff that they disagree on? I hope we get to that. On one closely watched issue, Republican Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa offered an amendment to prevent a hike in the minimum wage to $15 an hour during a pandemic. Democrats want to include a $15 minimum wage in the COVID relief bill, but her measure could have been complicated for centrist members, like Manchin, who has a different position than most of his caucus and supports a more modest increase in the minimum wage. I think we're going to go into this next episode. We're going to talk about what a $15 minimum wage would do Okay? Because especially during this pandemic, you think people are going to be spending money even though they're making more money during a pandemic? Those people who are used to not having much money? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they would. Be interesting to see, but we're going to dig into that. That I'm definitely going to dig into because that's probably pretty important right now. But before a roll call was called, Senator Bernie Sanders, the Vermont Independent, who is the chair of the Budget Committee and a champion of the $15 minimum wage, intervened and said his proposal would actually make the jump to $15 over the 5 years. Not right away, as Ernst had formulated in her amendment. With that, her amendment was quickly adopted by unanimous consent. So, they're not buying it. Man, Bernie's getting blocked out again. I mean, I like the fact that he's not trying to do it radically. I mean, 5 years still isn't enough. But we're going to dig into that. An amendment by Republican Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas in opposition to expanding the Supreme Court, the so-called practice of court packing that is advocated by some progressives to offset the conservative majority of the court, was defeated on a 50-50 vote. So that's probably going to happen. Court's going to get expanded. Might have to talk about that too. The budget resolution that passed is not the COVID relief bill. It has simply set the stages for Democrats to be able to use a process known as budget reconciliation to pass the relief on a party line vote, possibly in late February or March, after the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump is complete in the Senate. Got to make sure you know you can get Orange Man Bad out of there before you pass something, because if he gets reelected, he'll just get rid of it. The House already passed the budget measure earlier in the week, but because it was amended in the Senate, it will need to go back to the House for a final vote, possibly Friday. Biden has said he is willing to go forward without the support of Republicans, but he's also stressed that he's willing to make certain concessions if it will earn bipartisan support. That just sounds like political bullshit. You don't give a fuck. You are the Democratic Party, so whatever everyone else is saying, you're just going to go along with. So basically, if everything falls true in that segment there, in that article, courts are going to get packed. $1,400 bills are coming down the road for everyone, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but you know what? They just couldn't let Trump do it before he got out of office. They just couldn't let him do it. Because if you remember at the time before he was getting out of office, he was trying to pass that $1,400 bill. But the Democrats said there was more important things to worry about. But now that Biden is in office, they're going to be saying, we got to get this through. This is the most important thing. And then they're going to say the Republicans are slowing it down and they're doing harm to the American people, even though they wanted the same thing months ago. People pay attention to this. It happens on both sides. I'm not going to say the right doesn't do it. Again, my whole thing is the government is inefficient because there's not a free market that they're competing against. If you don't have competition, people get stagnant and they don't give a shit. Have you ever met the guy who's been working at the Parks Department for 47 plus years? Kind of like Ron Swanson. Doesn't really give a fuck about anything. Makes a good TV show, but unless you have someone like, now I'm going to get shit on main character, the gal who's running the place. Unless you have someone like that in there who really cares and is really following the 80-20 rule, her doing 80% of the work, everyone else not doing shit, him just there because he's the most senior person, you're not going to like the output of work that these people put out when they've been in the same position for 47 years with scheduled raises. Doesn't matter how good you are at your job, just you got scheduled raises. And you wonder why when you go to the DMV or before Trump passed the VFW bill to give them more money, you wonder why there's not more money put into these things. People don't feel like there's much effort put into them. That's why the free market reigns supreme. Now, I'm not saying the VFW and the DMV are no good. Okay, don't get that impression. What I'm saying is they're not getting any better because there's no competition. Okay, don't get that out of context. You need competition. The free market is what makes our lives better. It makes everything cheaper. Competition in the free market is what has allowed us to complain and have first world problems. All right, everybody. That's our episode this morning. I wanna thank you for watching. If you've been following us over on Instagram, go ahead, YouTube, 7 days later today. I am Jason Wolf. You can follow me on Instagram. Please follow the show. If you like what you're seeing, comment. If you don't like what you're seeing, comment. If you want to bitch at me, come on the show and bitch at me. We can have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation with whoever it is. The politician, love to talk to you. Doctor, love to talk to you. A light guy, I need a light guy. Because you know what? This looks way better than what I've been doing. If there's a sound guy, anyone want to give me a nice computer so that when I'm talking, my voice isn't way off of the video, send me a computer. Or send yourself. I'd much rather have a computer guy than a computer. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to grow this channel. We're trying to grow something out here. I need a team. Let's go 7 days later today with me, Jason Wolf. Please like, follow, subscribe, comment. If you want something, if you need something, if you want to talk about something, please comment. Let me know what it is. Maybe you'll come on the show. Maybe we'll have you on the show, okay? The show could be anything we want it to be. As of right now, it's just me talking about the news, kind of, and Bryce J Vibes getting special appearances, giving you the knowledge that you need to know. Again, thank you for watching 7 days later today with me, Jason Wolf. Follow, like, subscribe on Instagram. Go check me out on YouTube 7 days later.